The House will please come to order. Does the clerk have any announcements?
Yes, Madam Speaker, I have one important announcement about budget amendments for this afternoon. If you submitted a floor budget amendment to House Appropriations and you want it heard this afternoon, please come to the front desk upon recess, which will be pretty soon. Please come to the front desk upon recess to make sure the staff knows you want that amendment taken up. Submitting it to Appropriations isn't enough. We still need you to tell us which ones you want to have taken up. Otherwise, we're going to be calling up 30-some amendments, and everyone will say, we don't want that one. So please come up front to verify that you do want your amendment to be taken up. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House stand in recess until 4:15.
The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring, moves that the House stand in recess until 4:15. As many as favor that motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The motion is agreed to. The House stands in recess until 4:15.
I have your attention for one more minute. Thank you. Thank you. House Democratic Caucus will meet in House Room 1 immediately.
The House will please come to order. Members, please take their seats. The clerk will please continue with the calendar.
Returning to page 2 of the calendar, House Bill 7001, a bill to amend and reenact sections 3.3, 5.23, and the 14th and 15th enactments of Chapter 1289 of the Acts of Assembly of 2020 as amended by Chapter 56 of the Acts of Assembly of 2020, Special Session 1, etc., relating to emergent issues, pandemic response, and appropriation of Federal American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 funds. Reported from Appropriations, there is a floor substitute that is available on IHOD and LIS, and there are 2 sets of amendments that are available on LIS, just LIS.
The delegate from Prince William, Chairman Torian.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, speaking to the bill.
Chairman Torian, you have the floor.
Madam Speaker, the budget contained in HB 7001 allocates federal stimulus funds made available to Virginia through the American Rescue Plan Act. Our intent is to get aid to the families and businesses that need it while funding key projects whose urgency was highlighted by the COVID-19 pandemic. We're not here to amend the Commonwealth's biennium budget, make withdrawals from the general fund, or attempt to legislate through the budget unnecessarily. There has been exceptional communications between the administration and both legislative bodies in formulating this relief package. I'm grateful to Governor Northam and Chair Howell for their openness and cooperation. And thank you also to the many members who reached out leading up to this special session to share their district's concerns. The resulting budget is structurally sound, fiscally responsible, and makes transformative investments in every region of Virginia. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Clerk.
There is floor substitute offered by Delegate Gilbert is available on LIS and IHOD.
The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Simon.
Madam Speaker, I rise for a motion.
Delegate Simon, you have the floor.
Madam Speaker, I move that the floor substitute be passed by.
Delegate from Shenandoah, Delegate Gilbert.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. May I just get the clock on this to make sure I'm not using more than my 2 minutes, if you don't mind?
We
Thank
can
you, Madam
also
Speaker.
keep track.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, it is a shame that despite our concerns that this process was not opened up to the traditional committee vetting process, that members on this side of the aisle were told, and frankly, on your side of the aisle, were told your input is not welcome. I would have hoped that in this process we would have at least been afforded the opportunity to explain our bill, but instead we are left with the inevitable 2 minutes. 2 minutes to discuss things of great importance to children, to law enforcement, to public safety, to the businesses that are hurting around Virginia and have been hurting for some time. 2 minutes to put forward ideas that might help in any of those areas. And Madam Speaker, what we're learning from this process is that those ideas are not welcome. In this package, we would have had made whole these small businesses that are about to face an automatic tax increase because of the depletion of the unemployment insurance trust fund. Our version would have made them whole. We have money in here for parents, flexibility for schools and to fix their schools, and not based on the formula contained in the majority's package, but on the traditional formula. We rely on the composite index that doesn't punish poor localities. We have money in here to respect all of our police officers, unlike the bill being put forward by the majority that would give $5,000 bonuses to police, to deputies, to correctional officers, not just to the state police, but to respect all police officers. And finally, Madam Speaker, money and real teeth in a violence prevention initiative, Project Ceasefire, that we've offered many times on this side of the aisle, that would actually do a great deal to save lives, especially in the communities that are hurting the most. So,
Delegate Gilbert.
thank you, Madam Speaker. We didn't want to have to knock on the smoke-filled door to the smoke-filled room, Madam Speaker. We wanted to participate in this process. So I hate that we've been left with this, but thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Delegate Gilbert. Delegate Simon moves that the substitute is passed by. As many as favor that motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed? No. Okay. We will go up on the board. Shall the amendment, the question is, shall the amendment be passed by? Shall the substitute be passed by? The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 53, nays 43, abstentions 0.
Ayes 53, nays 43, abstentions 0. The substitute is passed by. The House will be at ease. Madam Clerk.
The first set of amendments are offered by Delegate Davis, and they are available on LIS. They just came up on LIS, so if you tried before, they probably weren't there, but they are there now. These are Delegate Davis's amendments.
The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Simon.
Madam Speaker, I rise for motion.
Delegate Simon, you have the floor.
Madam Speaker, I move that Delegate Davis's amendments be passed by in a block.
Madam Speaker,
Yes.
speaking to the amendment.
Delegate Davis, you have the floor.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, this amendment is something that we've probably seen before. It is something that the delegate from Stafford had a great idea a couple of years ago, creating Virginia Diverse Educator Scholarship Program. You see, all of us agree that some communities in our Commonwealth have very unique challenges and opportunities, and they're best served by having educators from those communities. And what this bill does is it allows our HBCUs to provide 2 scholarships annually to individuals who want to go there, become educated there, become teachers, and go back and teach in those communities. This bill is $200,000 of that $1 million. There's $100 million that's going to go to higher education, Madam Speaker. We don't know where it's going to go there. There's no funding formula for it. HBCUs could get some or all of it or none of it. And I don't think we should leave it up to others to decide. I think that's for us to decide. Some may say that there's other CARES Act monies that went to HBCUs, and there was federal grant monies directly to them, but this doesn't just throw new money at an institution. This creates programs to create generational change in the Commonwealth of Virginia for these communities. This is why I signed on to this bill. Many of us across the aisle supported that bill back in 2020, and it's why this is a very unique opportunity to create that program today for those individuals growing up in those communities to start growing the Commonwealth and help our young individuals. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Delegate Davis. Delegate Simon has moved that the floor amendment is passed by. As many as favor that motion will say aye. Actually, I'm sorry. Delegate from Fairfax, from Richmond City, Delegate McQuinn.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, speaking to the motion to buy the amendment.
Delegate McQuinn, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, first I'd like to say that our HBCUs are certainly both public and private, our valued institutions. We are adamant about addressing the issues of equity and equality and justice in education. I'm delighted to say that this budget reflects our commitment to serve all students of this Commonwealth. It certainly is noted in line 225 to 231, our appropriation for higher education. This gesture will help us to reverse the past practices of limited resources going to the HBCUs in every budget since that the Democrats' majority has been in place. We have increased state funding for the HBCUs. And so, Madam Speaker, there's a methodology that we're still to be determined in terms of how we would distribute the funds. But however, there are factors like the Bell Grant, and for low and moderate income students, and we are determined to make certain that, again, equity and justice is looked upon in the Commonwealth of Virginia, so all students may have this opportunity. So I urge this body at this time to please pass the amendment. But pass by the amendment. Pass by the amendment.
Thank you, Chairwoman McQuinn. Delegate Simon moves that the floor amendment is passed by. As many as favor the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The floor amendment is passed by. Shall the floor amendment be passed by? Recorded vote on the board.
Madam Speaker, the bill is, I think we got the wrong amendment up on the board here.
The clerk will destroy the roll. Thank you. The clerk will please destroy the roll. Shall the floor amendment be passed by? Recorded vote on your board. The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 54, nays 43, abstentions 0.
Ayes 54, nays 43, abstentions 0. The floor amendment is passed by. Madam Clerk, I believe there's one more floor amendment.
Yes, Madam Speaker. The next floor amendment is offered by Delegate Miyares and is available on LIS.
The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Simon.
Madam Speaker, I rise for motion.
Delegate Simon, you have the
Madam
floor.
Speaker, I move that the amendment be passed by.
Delegate Miyares, delegate from Virginia Beach, Delegate Miyares.
Madam Speaker, Mark Herring recently tweeted that it's his responsibility as Attorney General of Virginia to keep Virginians safe. And I happen to agree with him. The question is, do you feel safer today than you did 8 years ago when he took office? By all objective measures, he's failed at his job. Because what we've seen...
Council, come to order.
What we've seen is a crime explosion in Virginia. In fact, our murder rate is the highest rate it's been since the Spice Girls had a #1 album. Now, what has Mark Herring done? Well, he's turned down federal money to prosecute gun crimes because the program didn't fit with his ideological agenda. We know he teamed up with Terry McAuliffe to make it easier for over 200,000 convicted felons to obtain a firearm. Now, as a former prosecutor, I know that the majority of gun crimes are committed by repeat offenders. So the best way to lower gun violence is by making sure all of these violent repeat offenders stay behind bars, locked up, and off our streets. The data shows that prosecuting violent criminals is the single most effective way to lower gun violence. Between 1993 and 2016, gun violence in America plummeted. Why? Because we went after repeat offenders and we had truth in sentencing. We went after the repeat criminals, not the constitutional rights of law-abiding citizens. It also means prosecuting those that are trafficking in illegal gun purchases. A 2017 Gun Owners of America study found that few individuals who purchase or attempt to purchase firearms illegally are ever actually prosecuted. A GAO study actually showed that despite numerous laws already on the books, few people are rarely prosecuted for illegal gun trafficking or illegal gun purchases. That's what this amendment's all about before you today. It's providing the Attorney General's office with the funds to really keep Virginians safe. My amendment provides a fund so the Attorney General has the tools to prosecute these crimes and provide
Delegate
state
Murais, I
funds.
believe the 2 minutes are up.
Okay, I urge
Thank
the
you.
passage of this amendment. Thank you,
Thank you.
Madam Speaker.
Chairman Simon has moved that this floor amendment is passed by. As many as favor the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed? No. The floor amendment is passed by. Ayes and nays, we will go up on the board. Shall the floor amendment be passed by? Use your electronic voting board. The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 54, nays 43, abstentions 0.
Ayes 54, nays 43, abstentions 0. The floor amendment is passed by. Delegate from Prince William, Chairman Torian.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I move that HB 7001 be passed on to its third reading.
All those in favor of HB 7001 being passed on to its third reading will say aye. Aye. Those opposed? No. HB 7001 is passed on to its third reading. Per House Rule 51, the House has returned to the morning hour. Madam Clerk, do you have any announcements or communications at this time?
Yes. Madam Speaker, last reminder, tomorrow morning, if you could be in your seats at 10:45 for the panoramic photo. 10:45 in your seats on the floor, please. And after that, well, first, the House Democratic Caucus will meet at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. House Democratic Caucus, 10 a.m., House Room 2. The House Republican Caucus will meet immediately after the photo. Immediately after the photo, so right around 11 o'clock in House Room 2. Madam Speaker, that completes my announcements.
The delegate from Hanover, Delegate Fowler.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to make a little announcement. I've got a petition circulating for memorial resolution for Buddy Dowdy to get everybody on there. So whoever's kind of got that, if you hang on to it, I'd like to get it back, and we'll start working it again tomorrow. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Delegate
Thank you,
Fowler.
Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The delegate from Alexandria, Leader Herring.
Madam Speaker, I move that when the House adjourns today, it adjourn to reconvene at noon tomorrow.
The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring, has moved when the House adjourned today, it adjourned to reconvene tomorrow at noon. As many as favor the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The motion is agreed to. Delegate from Alexandria, Leader Herring.
Madam Speaker, I move that the House do now adjourn.
The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring, moves the House to now adjourn. As many as favor the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The motion is agreed to. The House stands adjourned until tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon.